Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's Celtic Cross spread as always, and also follow the 4 agreements, Oracle card, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we got Taurus, and for you guys, that's your 8th house of investments, death, rebirth, intimacy. And we have Uranus there, and the North Node recently arrived there as well. We have Mercury, and Mercury just wrapped up its retrograde cycle recently. Well, it's still in shadow technically at the time recording this, but when we get into March, it'll be done with that cycle. It'll be moving from Aquarius into Pisces around the second week of March. So for you guys, that's your 5th house into your 6th house. So from romance, creativity, children to health, work, daily routines. And we have 3. So 3rd house represents communication, short journeys, siblings. For you guys, your 3rd house is Sagittarius. And astrologically speaking, there's not really anything going on there. I do see a Sagittarius card in your spread, but between this and Mercury coming up, could just be saying that there's a focus around communication for you guys for sure. All right, so with all out of the way, we get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Ace of Wands. So this looks like you might have had a creative idea come to you recently. I will say, if it hasn't struck you yet, early in March, we're going to have, well, Saturn's already in Aquarius, which is your 5th house creativity. But then we're also going to have Mars and Venus get into that sign around the second week of March, and pretty much will be there through the rest of the month. So you could definitely feel some kind of a spark as far as creativity goes. And like I mentioned also, Mercury will be there for the first week too. So plenty of energy going through your 5th house for sure. So it looks like you might have some creative idea that might come to you this month. Challenger obstacle position, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this could just be saying that you might have some reluctance around pursuing this creative idea. So for example, maybe you find that it would require a physical investment on your part, right? Whether it be time, money, energy, you name it. But it looks like there could be a bit of a reluctance for you to pursue that idea. Or for some of you, could just be saying that you might be setting your ways around a certain situation. So you might get an idea for how to operate more efficiently, but for whatever reason, you might have had this could be something that goes back all the way to your early upbringing, given that Capricorn energy for you guys represents your energy, or wherever your house of home, your roots. So yeah, this could just be habits you might have built up from your early upbringing that you're holding on to, and they could be causing a blockage for you currently. In the foundation position, we have the 3 of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. And like we were talking about, this actually does represent your house of communication. We see the 3 came up in the dice and Mercury. So it could just be saying that there might be a lot of communication going on around you guys right now. And for whatever reason, again, connecting with that as well, could just be saying that you might be feeling a bit closed off and guarded around communication at this time. Now, I do have to say, if this is some kind of creative idea that you have that you know is good, but you're not quite ready to bring it out yet, it could just be as simple as that. Where you're like, I don't know if I want to mention this to everyone yet, because, they might try to run with the idea, things along those lines. But yeah, looks like there's going to be a lot of communication coming around you guys this month. All right, in the past position, we have the Knight of Wands, which is the core card for Sagittarius. Queen of Wands, which is Aries energy, and 7 of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So, see these things come up. Alright, so here's what comes to my mind first looking at this combination. For some of you, this might have even been around communicating whether or not you wanted to be in a relationship with someone, but you might have been a bit undecided around that, right? Maybe you had multiple options, so you weren't sure if you were ready to narrow them down to just one. First, we could even just be saying that you might have had some financial issues that had taken more of your focus and energy, so you weren't really quite ready to pursue a relationship yet. For some of you, this could even be something that happened around the time of Sagittarius season. And for others of you, this could even, if we just stick to the financial part of it, could just be saying that you might have set a goal for yourself around Sagittarius season, where the end game was, okay, whatever goal you set, you wanted to be done with it by Aries season. So let's say you're making a New Year's resolution, a super generic example, and you're like, okay, I want to put this goal in place. I want to be done with it by the time spring starts. For those being the northern hemisphere, that is, so it could just be as simple as that. But yeah, could have just been a bit unsure about which path to take there. All right. In the present position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So, where I was mentioning with that Four of Pentacles, there could have been some reluctance on your part to invest, to commit in a certain way. It looks like you might be getting closer to that. Now, the Page energy is always an action-oriented energy, but what always stands out to me with the Page of Pentacles in particular in this deck is the way that Pentacle looks like it's just out of your reach, right? It's not quite fully in your hand. So on one hand, this could be saying that you're getting closer to offering something, but you're still not quite ready to let it go, right? Or for those of you, you could just be feeling like you're close to receiving something, but you're still a little bit short of that goal as well. But yeah, I do see this as at least you stepping out of that Four of Pentacles energy and making an effort to pursue something. All right, and in your future position, we have the Seven of Wands, Leo energy, and Temperance, more Sagittarius energy here. So yeah, definitely a lot of energy going on with your third house. But with that said, could just be saying that part of you might have even known that if whatever this idea you had, you might have known that there wouldn't be the support of your environment there, right? Because the reason why I say that Leo energy is your 11th house of friendships, groups you deal with, hopes and wishes. So seeing this energy here where it looks like it, let's say you do come forward and you present whatever this creative idea is or some investment idea, right? You might actually find that there are people in your group that aren't supportive of that. But at the same time, I feel like it's saying by finally putting it out there, you actually are able to find that balance that you were seeking. So it could just be as simple as through the process of doing it, right now you know for sure, okay, who's on board, who's not on board, right? And you could move forward from there more confidently. All right. In the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Tower and we have the World. So this looks like you will be bringing something to an end this month. I always say that if you're going to get the Tower, having it in the position of your influence on the situation is the best place to have it. Because on the one hand, if there is something that you are hoping to put an end to, you could see that energy could definitely play out for this month. Or on the flip side of that, if there's something that you don't want to end, being aware that you're bringing this energy to the table this month could help you circumvent that, right? So it's a more positive way that could come across. But either way, with the World card directly beneath that, I feel like this is saying that whatever the situation is that you do bring to an end, it looks like you were meant to bring it to an end, and you will have a successful completion around doing so. Also, like I said, for some of you, it could be as simple as you have this idea, right? Maybe your family, for example, because I mentioned for some of you, this could be like a fourth house thing where it's just how you were raised, but now you're going against those beliefs in a certain way. Or if it's a friendship group that you're dealing with, even colleagues within your work environment, right? If you put this idea out there because it's just really gnawing away at you, like, okay, I really want to pursue this thing, or this is really where I'm at right now, you let people notice, and then you can kind of see, okay, well, who's on board with me, who's supporting me, who's not, right? And through that process, that could actually liberate you, right? As opposed to being on the fence, like, oh, will they support me, will they not support me, right? At least you have that clear line in the sand. And this could even just be saying that this is something that you're being led to do, right? As far as for your overall karmic growth. So maybe you are meant to speak out around something in that regard. All right. In the environment position, we have the Three of Cups reversed. So yeah, again, this is another thing to me. If I had to really sum up this energy overall from what we're seeing so far, it looks like you're being led to put something out there, but with the understanding that you won't necessarily have the support of your environment, but it still feels like you're on a karmic level, you are getting that support, right? Because we see the Temperance card there, for example. Under the Tower, we see the World card. So it looks like there's some heavy hitting energy supporting you in this, but you're just your general environment, the day-to-day people you might interact with, may not support it. So you just have to go in with that awareness, right? And maybe for some of you, that's what it's been, right? Maybe there's been a reluctance on your part. Deep down, you might have known that there wouldn't be the support there, but you've been holding on to those connections anyway. And this could just be saying that this month you're kind of being led away from that. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is actually the core card for Libra. And this could just be saying for some of you, maybe that's why you haven't spoken out, right? Maybe you ideally wouldn't want to rock the boat. But it could just be one of those things where it's getting to that point where you're like, okay, well, I'm at a crossroads here. It's going to have to happen eventually. And this might be the month where you finally take that action. It's going to be plenty of direct energies going on, astrologically speaking. So they would support that, right? And given that you guys had that Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde more or less hanging out in your fourth house, that could have really dug up some things from deep in the past, right? And you may be reevaluating, hey, do these things still fit for me? So it could just be what's bringing it all to a head this month. All right, in the outcome position, we have the 10 of Cups. So one of the more positive cards you can get, and definitely a good one to see in the outcome position, right? Especially because, like I said, I have to call it like I see it. It doesn't look like there are going to be people in your environment that support whatever this is that you're working on and whatever you bring out there. But overall, it looks like you're going to succeed in spite of that. So, not a bad thing as far as that goes. But as far as the harmony, right, there might be some disappointment as far as, okay, well, it'd be great for me to put this out there and have the support of my environment, right? But it looks like it might be a bit of an either or proposition, but yeah, it looks like it will be successful regardless. So there's that. And timeline wise, this could just be pointing to toward the end of Pisces season, so right around the middle of March might be when you start to feel this energy. All right. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Wands. So this is one of those things, more Aries energy here too, by the way. It could be one of those things where you've been waiting for things to come your way, and I feel like this could be you guys shifting into a bit more of a proactive stance this month. But that's what I see with that. And another way I could see this playing out too, it could just be saying that once you finally do put whatever it is out there, you can expect to see some success come your way, even if it's not immediate. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card. We have Don't Make Assumptions. It says learn to ask questions. So let's see what it says. Okay, get everything in frame there. All right. It says it is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be. Until you are as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to a question, you won't have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. So, pretty straightforward message there, but yeah, if this is around communication, obviously we saw the third house energy come up, Mercury come up. I do have to say, if you do speak up around something, like I said, the vibe that I'm seeing here is you might not get all the support you would hope for from your environment, but it does look like it needs to be said, and it looks like it will lead to success overall anyway. Like I said, even if it was just one of those things karmically you needed to do to confront something, but hopefully that resonated. All right, and moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Round and Round. There's the artwork, and the number is 25. So yeah, for some of you, this could just be a repeat cycle you've gone through, right? And maybe now this is the time for you to finally break out of that cycle. So we'll see what that has to say in the book. Okay, it says, the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. The Oracle's message. The appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backwards, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So, pretty positive message there. Again, talking about cycles set up in the past, that definitely makes me think of that Four of Pentacles energy, even if that's fourth house energy for you guys. And we talked about the whole tower thing with the world card, so hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So, pretty positive message there. Again, for the most part, when I was going through these energies, I didn't really get a one-to-one romantic vibe for the most part here. Other than in the past, looks like you might have been on the fence about presenting that offer. But hopefully that resonated with you guys who were looking for relationship guidance. Worst case, the love readings for my channel should be out within the next week, most likely. So you could keep an eye out for that. The prosperity message says if you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it's because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be a part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's a good time to get a coach or a mentor who can help you see what you can't on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from the old cycles and cease going round and round. So yeah, that message for sure seems to align with what I was talking about, where like I said, there's something that you need to put out there, and you may find that you don't get support from your environment, but through that process, it looks like it's going to help with your overall growth anyway. Even if it is, like we said, as simple as knowing, okay, well, now I know who's on my side, who's not, right? So hopefully that resonated as well. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Shakata mudra, and the keyword for it is deliverance. All right, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says strengthens the immune system, facilitates breathing in the lower lobes of the lungs, improves concentration, benefits the large intestine. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the name, video, and description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.